You know, we're all searching for ways to live a longer, healthier life. It's like this ultimate human quest. But what if one of the secrets wasn't some crazy expensive biohack, but a special kind of fiber? A fiber found in foods you probably already have in your kitchen. Today we're going to get into the science of something called beta-glucan and its really fascinating connection to the way we age.
So let's just start with the big question. Why is it that some people seem to just cruise into their later years full of energy, while others don't? We all know someone like that, right? Someone who just seems to defy the calendar. It's one of the biggest puzzles in biology, this huge difference in what we call our health span.
And the stakes? They are ridiculously high. A recent study just blew my mind. It found a massive survival gap based on something called immune resilience. Basically, if you had low immune resilience at age 40, your risk of dying was the same as someone 15 and a half years older who had great resilience. I mean, think about that. That is a huge chunk of your life, and it all boils down to your immune system.
So what exactly is this immune resilience? Well, it's not just about, not catching a cold. It's a much bigger idea. It's your body's built-in ability to stay healthy, to bounce back from, everything. Whether it's an infection or stress or just the slow grind of getting older. It's about actively creating health, not just reacting to sickness.
Okay, so if we want to improve our resilience, we need to know what we're up against. And researchers have identified what they call the pathogenic triad. Think of these as the three main villains of the aging story. First, you've got inflammaging. It's this low-level, chronic inflammation that's always simmering in the background. Then there's immune senescence, which is just a fancy way of saying your immune system gets tired and weak over time. And finally, the really creepy one, cellular senescence, where you get this buildup of so-called zombie cells that just hang around causing damage. These three, they all work together to speed up aging.
So with these three villains working against us, is there anything we can do? Well, yeah, maybe. This is where our story takes a really interesting turn, from the problem to a potential hero.
And that hero might just be beta-glucan. So what is it? It's a type of soluble fiber. The scientific name is polysaccharide, but don't worry about that. All it means is it's a special chain of sugar molecules. And you find it in everyday stuff like oats, barley, mushrooms, and even yeast. It's not a drug, it's not a supplement in that sense, but it has this incredible, almost unique ability to talk directly to our immune cells. And that's why scientists are so excited about it. And this right here is why. A lab study from 2022 found that beta-glucan can trigger something called trained immunity. Okay, think of it like taking your immune cells to the gym. It doesn't just help them fight a battle today, it trains them, leaving them in a trained phenotype, basically a state where they're stronger, faster, and better prepared for future threats. And here's the kicker. The study showed this worked on cells from people of all ages. That's huge, because it suggests it could help fight back against that immune decline we see with age. So the idea is solid. The lab work looks great, but what happens when you test it in actual living things? Now let's be super clear, we're moving into animal studies now, not humans yet, but what they're finding is pretty remarkable.
Just take a look at the variety of these results. A 2020 study on fish found a specific type of beta-glucan literally prolonged their lifespan. Wild, right? Then a 2021 study on rats using yeast-derived beta-glucan found it reduced those zombies' senescent cells and was good for their hearts. And in another study on aged mice, it actually beefed up their immune system, directly pushing back against that age-related decline. So in animals, the evidence is coming from all different angles, and it looks really, really promising.
But the story doesn't end there. It's not just about directly training immune cells. There's another massive piece of the puzzle that scientists are looking at, and it all starts in the gut. Turns out, the health of your gut is profoundly connected to the health of your brain.
And again, when you look at the animal research, you see this incredible pattern emerging. Beta-glucan from all different sources, barley, oats, yeast, it all seems to help the brain by first helping the gut. We see it strengthening the gut wall, making it less leaky. We see it feeding the good gut bacteria, which then produce these amazing compounds called short-chain fatty acids. And all of that seems to lead to less inflammation in the brain and slower cognitive decline in these aging animals. It's a powerful 1-2 punch.
Okay, prolonged life in fish, fewer zombie cells in rats, smarter, healthier brains in mice. It all sounds amazing, but here it is, the million-dollar question. Does any of this actually work for us? Does it translate to people?
This is where we have to be really rigorous. Animal studies are fantastic for pointing us in the right direction, but human biology, our diets, our lifestyles, we're a whole different ballgame. So let's take a hard look at the human trials.
And this is where the story gets, well, a little more complicated. Based on everything we saw in the animal models, you'd totally expect that beta-glucan would cause big, positive changes in the human gut. But a 2020 clinical trial in elderly people found that giving them oat beta-glucan every day for 6 weeks didn't really move the needle. It didn't significantly change their gut permeability or the overall makeup of their gut bacteria.
Now, it's super easy to look at that result and just go, oh, well, I guess it doesn't work then. But that's not the right takeaway. This isn't a failure. This is literally how science works. It's a clue. It tells us that the human system, with our incredibly varied diets and unique gut microbiomes, is just way more complex than a lab mouse. It means we probably need more research on different doses, different types of beta-glucan, and maybe for longer periods of time to really see the effect.
So, after all that, what's the verdict? Where does this leave us on our quest for a healthier, longer life? Let's try to put all the pieces together and see what the future might hold.
Okay, let's boil it all down. What do we know for sure? 1. The promise in animal models is huge. It seems to hit all the big targets of aging. 2. The ways it might work, by training our immune system and helping the gut-brain axis, are really compelling. But 3, and this is crucial, the direct proof that it can extend human lifespan or radically shift our gut health, that evidence is still being built. Beta-glucan isn't a magic bullet. It's a perfect example of what we call functional nutrition, a food with incredible potential that science is still figuring out.
And that brings us back to where we started. We asked why some of us age so much better than others. And the ongoing research into beta-glucan suggests that maybe, just maybe, part of the answer is hiding in plain sight, maybe even in your breakfast bowl. The real goal, after all, isn't just about adding years to our life, but adding life to our years. And the big question we're left with is, could this simple, humble fiber be one of the keys to finally doing that?